Math 6, Quarter 2, Week 3, MELC-BASED. Let's learn about percentage, rate, and base. Hello kids, it's me, Teacher Frel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the notification bell for the latest video. You can also follow my Facebook page, Teacher Frel TV. For today's lesson in Math 6, we will discuss about percentage, rate, and base. For most essential learning competencies, finds the percentage or rate or percent in a given problem. Solves routine and non-routine problems involving finding the percentage, rate, and base using appropriate strategies and tools. Percent is the ratio that compares a number to 100. You can write percent as a fraction with a denominator of 100. You can use a symbol percent, which is called the percent sign. After going through this lesson, you are expected to find the percentage, rate, and base or percent in a given problem, as well as to solve routine and non-routine problems involving percentage, rate, and base. To understand this lesson well, read and analyze first the short problem below and observe how the idea of percentage, rate, and base to solve the problem. Let's read the problem. Robin's daily allowance is 40 pesos. He spends 12 pesos for snacks. This is 30% of his daily allowance. In the situation given above, we can say that 30% of 40 pesos is 12 pesos. In this case, you can now easily identify which is the percentage, the rate, or the base. We let P be the percentage, R be the rate, and B be the base. 12 pesos is percentage. It is the number or the amount that represents. 30% is the rate. It is the number compared to 100. It usually has either a percent sign or the word percent with it. 40 pesos is the base. It is the number that represents the whole or the entire amount. The Tecans triangle can help you remember the three formulas. To find percentage, cover P. Since R and B are next to each other, it means multiplication. To find the base, cover the B. Since P is over R, it means division. And to find rate, cover R. Since P is over B, it means division. So let's study the Tecans triangle. To find the percentage, cover P. Since R and B are next to each other, it means multiplication. The formula for this is percentage equals rate times base. Next, to find the rate, cover R. Since P is over B, it means division. The formula is rate equals percentage divided by base. And next, to find the base, cover B. Since P is over R, it means division. The formula is base equals percentage divided by rate. Whereas, P means percentage, R means rate, and B means base. Let's study example 1. Find 75% of 60. Using the decimal. 75% times 60 equals N. Change the rate to decimal. 75% in decimal is 75 hundredths. Times 60 equals 45. So the equivalent of N is 45. Now, using a proportion, think. 75% equals 75 over 100. 75 over 100 equals N over 60. Get the cross product. 100 times n equals 100n. 75 times 60 equals 4,500. Then, divide them by 100. 100n divided by 100 equals n. And 4,500 divided by 100 equals 45. So that means n is equals to 45. The formula we use is percentage equals rate times base, or 75 hundredths times 60 equals 45. The percentage is 45. Study example number 2. There are 250 pupils in a school. If 20% of them are boys, how many Boy Scouts does the school have? So the rate is 20%, base is 250, and we will find the percentage. Using the decimal, 20% times 250 equals n. Change the rate to decimal. The rate is 20%, change it to decimal. It is 20 hundredths. Multiply by 250, the answer is 50. So the equivalent of n is 50. Using a proportion. In fraction form, it is 20 over 100 equals n over 250. Get the cross product. 100 times n equals 100n. 20 times 250 equals 5,000. Then divide them by 100. 100n times 100 equals n. Then 5,000 divided by 100 equals 50. So n is equals to 50. The formula for this is percentage equals rate times base, or 20 hundredths times 250 equals 50. Now finding the rate. Let's study example number 3. 45 is what percent of 75? Think n% of 75 equals 45. N% is the rate. 75 is the base. And 45 is the percentage. Using fraction. N% of 75 equals 45. In fraction form, it is n over 100 times 75 equals 45. 75 times n equals 75n over 100 equals 45. 75n divided by 100 equals 75n equals 45 times 100. So 45 times 100 equals 4,500. So 75n equals 4,500. Now, divide them both by 75. 75n over 75 and 4,500 over 75. 75n divided by 75 equals n, and 4,500 divided by 75 equals 60. So n is equals to 60. Now let's see using a proportion. N% of 75 equals 45. In fraction, it is n over 100 equals 45 over 75. Using a proportion, it is n is to 100 equals 45 is to 75. Now multiply the first and the fourth term, which is n times 75 equals 75n. And then multiply the second and the third term. 100 times 45 equals 4,500. Then divide them by 75. 75n divided by 75 equals n. And 4,500 divided by 75 equals 60. So the equivalent of n is 60. The formula that we use is rate equals percentage divided by base, or 45 divided by 75 equals 60%. So the rate is 60%. Now, finding the base. Example number 4. In Mr. Lazo's math class, 8 pupils got high scores on the test. If this is 20% of the total number of pupils in the class, how many pupils does he have in all? The solution is, rate is 20%, percentage is 8, base is missing. Using the decimal, 20% of n equals 8. In decimal, 20% is 20 hundreds times n equals 8. 20 hundred times n equals 20n equals 8. Then divide them both by 20 hundreds. 20 hundreds n divided by 20 hundreds equals n. And 8 divided by 20 hundreds equals 40. So the equivalent of n is 40. Using a proportion, 20 over 100 equals 8 over n. In proportion, it is 20 is to 100 equals 8 is to n. Multiply the first and the last term, 20 times n, and multiply the second and the third term, which is 100 times 8. Now, let's multiply. 20 times n equals 20n. 100 times 8 equals 800. Divide them both by 20. 20n divided by 20 equals n. 800 divided by 20 equals 40. So n is equals to 40. The formula for this is base equals percentage divided by rate, or 8 divided by 20 hundredths equals 40. The base is 40. And let's study the last example. Example number 5. There are 200 participants attended during mathematics seminar workshop. If 40% of these were men and rest are women, how many are women participated in the mathematics seminar workshop? First step is understand. What is asked in the problem? The number of women participated in the seminar workshop. What are the given facts? 200 participants of the total, 30% were male. Next step is to plan. Let's see the illustration. There were 200 participants. Men is 40% and women is 60%. If there were 40% men participants, 100% minus 40% equals 60%. Therefore, 60% are women. You can use the formula for finding the percentage. The formula is percentage equals rate times base. The next step is solve. Using the formula, we have percentage equals rate times base, or percentage equals 60% times 200. Change 60% to decimal, which is 60 hundredths. Multiply by 200, which is the total participants. So 60 times 200 equals 120. 120 is the number of women participants. The answer is, there were 120 women participants in the seminar workshop. And the last step is, check if your answer is correct. This is one way to know if your answer is correct. 40% times 200. Change 40% to decimal, which is 40 hundredths. Times 200 equals 80. 80 men participants. So 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 equals 80, which is 40%. Next, 60% times 200. Change 60% to decimal, which is 60 hundredths. Times 200 equals 120. There were 120 women participants. Add 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 equals 120, which is 60%. And then, add 120 women participants plus 80 men participants equals 200 participants. 200 is the total number of participants. And now, let's proceed to learning task 1. Find the percentage. Write your answer in your notebook. Number 1. What is 20% of 160? Formula, percentage equals rate times base, or percentage equals 20% times 160. In decimal, 20 hundredths times 160 equals 32. The percentage is 32. Number 2. 25% of 96 is blank. The formula is percentage equals rate times base, or percentage equals 25% times 96. Change 25% to decimal. 25 hundredths times 96 equals 24. The percentage is 24. Number 3. 15% of 80 is? Use this formula. Percentage equals 15% times 80. In decimal, 15 hundredths times 80 equals 12. The percentage is 12. Number 4. What is 50% of 70? Use this formula. Percentage equals 50% times 70. In decimal, 50 hundredths times 70 equals 35. The percentage is 35. Number 5. What is 30% of 20? Use this formula. Percentage equals 30% times 20. In decimal, 30 hundredths times 20 equals 6. The percentage is 6. Number 6. 75% of 40 is blank. Use this formula. Percentage equals 75% times 40. In decimal, 75 hundredths times 40 equals 30. The percentage is 30. Number 7. 65% of 100 is blank. Use this formula. Percentage equals 65% times 100. In decimal, 65 hundredths times 100 equals 65. The percentage is 65. Number 8. 200% of 100 is blank. Use this formula. Percentage equals 200% times 100. In decimal, 2 times 100. 2 times 100 equals 200. The percentage is 200. Number 9. What is 125% of 100? Use this formula. Percentage equals 125% times 100. In decimal, 1 and 25 hundredths times 100 equals 125. The percentage is 125. And for number 10, what is 300% of 100? Use this formula. Percentage equals 300% times 100. In decimal, 3 times 100 equals 300. The percentage is 300. Now, for learning task 2, find the base. Write your answer in your notebook. Number 1. 50 is 8% of what number? The formula is base equals percentage divided by rate, or base equals 50 divided by 8%. In decimal, 8% is 8 hundredths. So 50 divided by 8 hundredths equals 625. The base is 625. Number 2. 20% of what number is 15? Use this formula. Base equals 15 divided by 20%. In decimal, 20% is 20 hundredths. 15 divided by 20 hundredths equals 75. The base is 75. Number 3. 12 is 4% of what number? Use this formula. Base equals 12% divided by 4%. Change 4% to decimal, which is 4 hundredths. 12 divided by 4 hundredths equals 300. The base is 300. Number 4. 80% of what number is 5? Use this formula. Base equals 5 divided by 80%. 80% in decimal is 80 hundredths. 5 divided by 80 hundredths equals 6 and 25 hundredths. The base is 6 and 25 hundredths. Number 5. 7 is 70% of what number? Use this formula. Base equals 7 divided by 70%. In decimal, 70% is 70 hundredths. 7 divided by 70 hundredths equals 10. The base is 10. Number 6. 6 is 75% of what number? Use this formula. Base equals 6 divided by 75%. In decimal, 75% is 75 hundredths. 6 divided by 75 hundredths equals 8. The base is 8. Number 7. 8 is 20% is what number? Use this formula. Base equals 8 divided by 20%. The decimal of 20% is 20 hundredths. 8 divided by 20 hundred equals 40. The base is 40. Number 8. 2 and 25 hundredths is 9% of what number? Use this formula. Base equals 2 and 25 hundredths divided by 9%. In decimal, 9% is 9 hundredths. 2 and 25 hundredths divided by 9 hundredths equals 25. The base is 25. Number 9. 75% of what number is 1/2? Use this formula. So 1/2 is 5/10 divided by 75%. In decimal, 75% is 75 hundredths. So 5/10 divided by 75 hundredths equals 67 hundredths. The base is 67 hundredths. And for number 10, 49 is 87 and 5% of what number? Use this formula. Base equals 49 divided by 87.5%, or 49 divided by 875 thousandths equals 56. The base is 56. Learning Task 3. Find the rate. Write your answer in your notebook. Number 1. 1 is what percent of 10? Use this formula. Rate equals percentage divided by base. Or 1 divided by 10 equals 10 hundredths. The rate is 10%. Number 2. 10 is what percent of 20? Use this formula. Or 10 divided by 20 equals 50 hundredths. The rate is 50%. Number 3. 5 is what percent of 25? Use this formula. 5 divided by 25 equals 20 hundredths. Or the rate is 20%. What percent of 80 is 56? Use this formula. 56 divided by 80 equals 70 hundredths. The rate is 70%. Number 5. What percent of 20 is 15? Use this formula. 15 divided by 20 equals 75 hundredths. The rate is 75%. Number 6. 14 is what percent of 35? Use this formula. 14 divided by 35 equals 40 hundredths. The rate is 40%. Number 7. 27 is what percent of 28? Use this formula. 27 divided by 48 equals 5,625 10,000ths. The rate is 56 and 25%. Number 8. What percent of 12 is 10? Use this formula. 10 divided by 12 equals 8,333 10,000ths. The rate is 83 and 33%. Number 9. What percent of 24 is 12 hundredths? Use this formula. 12 hundredths divided by 24 equals 5 thousandths. The rate is 0.5%. Number 10. 3,150 is what percent of 9,000? Use this formula. 3,150 divided by 9,000 equals 35 hundredths. The rate is 35%. And for learning task 4, answer the following. Show your solution using decimal and proportion methods. Number 1. In survey, the barangay had a certain number of families and 60% of them are identified and belong to the poor or marginalized sector if the total families is 150. How many families are belong to the poor sector? The rate is 60%, base is 150, the percentage is missing. Using the decimal, 60% times 150 equals n. Change the rate to decimal. 60 hundredths times 150 equals 90. Using a proportion, 60 is to 100, n is to 150. Then get the cross product. 100 times n equals 100n. 60 times 150 equals 9,000. Divide them by 100. 100n divided by 100 equals n. And 9,000 divided by 100 equals 90. The formula is percentage equals rate times base, or 60 hundredths times 150 equals 90. The percentage is 90. Number 2. Lola Remedios went to groceries to buy her daily needs. If the total amount of her groceries is 2,500 pesos, what would be the new amount if the store granted her 20% senior citizens discounts? The rate is 20%, base is 2,500, and we will find the percentage. Using the decimal, 20% times 2,500 equals n. Change the rate to decimal. 20 hundredths times 150 equals 500 pesos. Using a proportion, 20 is to 100 equals n is to 2,500. Get the cross product. 100 times n equals 100n. 20 times 2,500 equals 50,000. Divide them by 100. 100n divided by 100 equals n. And 50,000 divided by 100 equals 500. So the percentage is 500. Now, subtract 500 pesos to 2,500 pesos equals 2,000 pesos. The new amount is 2,000 pesos. And for number 3, a passenger bus can accommodate 60 seats. During pandemic, they reduced their accommodation to 50%. How many passengers can be accommodated by the bus? The rate is 50%, base is 60, and we will find the percentage. Using the decimal, 50% times 60 equals n. Change the rate to decimal. 50 hundredths times 60 equals 30. Using a proportion, 50 is to 100 equals n is to 60. Get the cross product. 100 times n equals 100n. 50 times 60 equals 3,000. Divide them by 100. 100n divided by 100 equals n. And 3,000 divided by 100 equals 30. The percentage is 30. The formula is percentage equals rate times base, or 50 hundredths times 60 equals 30. The percentage is 30. Remember, percentage is the amount that represents a part of a whole. To find the percentage of a number, you can change it to decimal or fraction and then multiply it by the given number, or multiply the percent or rate by the given number or base. Base is the number that represents the whole or entire amount. In finding the base or b, just divide the percentage by the rate. Rate is the number compared to 100. Usually it has either with a percent sign or the word percent with it. To find the percent or rate, Divide the percentage by the given number or base, or rewrite the number as fraction. Then change the denominator to 100. Simplify and write the percent symbol. So kids, do you understand our lesson for today? Wow! Good job! Kids, I hope you learned a lot from this lesson. Until our next topic, bye-bye kids! Thanks for watching!